Welcome to this comprehensive guide on service level objectives and service level indicators. Understanding SLOs and SLIs is crucial for anyone working with production systems, whether you're a developer, operations engineer, or system administrator. In this video, we'll explore what these terms mean, why they matter, and how to implement them effectively in your organization. By the end, you'll have a clear understanding of how to measure, monitor, and maintain reliable services. An SLI, or service level indicator, is a measurable metric that quantifies some aspect of your service's performance. Think of it as a measurement tool that tells you how well your service is actually performing. SLIs answer the question, how is our service doing right now? Common examples include availability, which measures the percentage of time your service is up and running, latency, which measures how fast your service responds to requests, and error rate, which measures the percentage of requests that fail. SLIs are based on real data collected from your production systems. They form the foundation for everything else we'll discuss in this video. An SLO, or service level objective, is a target or goal for your SLI. While an SLI is what you measure, an SLO is what you aim for. An SLO says, we promise to achieve this level of performance. For example, if your SLI is availability, your SLO might be 99.9% availability per month. SLOs are internal targets that guide your engineering decisions. They help your team prioritize work, decide when to implement new features versus improving reliability, and set expectations for service performance. SLOs are typically more ambitious than the service agreements you make with customers because they provide a safety buffer. Let's look at real-world examples of SLIs for different types of services. For an API service, relevant SLIs include successful requests, measured as the percentage of requests that return a 200 status code, request latency, measured in milliseconds, and system availability, measured as uptime percentage. For a database service, important SLIs include query latency, availability, and data durability or integrity. For a message queue service, throughput, latency, and message delivery reliability are key SLIs. For a web application, page load time, successful page loads, and overall availability matter most. Each service type has different SLIs that matter most to users. The key is choosing SLIs that directly reflect user satisfaction with your service. Now let's examine how to set realistic SLOs. For a mission-critical service like a payment processor, you might set an SLO of 99.99% availability and a latency SLO of less than 100 milliseconds for 99% of requests. For a standard web application, an SLO of 99.5% availability and 500 milliseconds latency for 95% of requests might be appropriate. For a development or internal service, you might accept 95% availability with a 1-second latency target. When setting SLOs, consider the business impact of downtime, your infrastructure costs, and your engineering capacity. Higher SLOs require more investment but provide better user experience. The key is finding the right balance for your specific service and users. An error budget is a crucial concept that directly flows from your SLO. Your error budget is the amount of downtime you're allowed while still meeting your SLO. If your availability SLO is 99.9% per month, you have an error budget of 0.1%. This translates to approximately 43 seconds of acceptable downtime per month. Here's how to calculate it. First, determine your SLO. For this example, we use 99.9%. Next, subtract your SLO from 100% to get your error percentage. 100 minus 99.9 equals 0.1%. Then, multiply this percentage by the number of seconds in a month. A month has approximately 2.6 million seconds. 0.1% of 2.6 million seconds equals approximately 2,600 seconds, or about 43 minutes. This means your service can be down for about 43 minutes per month while still meeting your SLO. Once your error budget is consumed, you must prioritize stability over new features until the next billing period. Let's walk through a complete SLO example. Suppose you operate an e-commerce platform with this scenario. You guarantee 99.5% availability to customers. Last month, your actual availability was 99.7%. Your SLI definition is simple: the percentage of successful HTTP requests. This means any request returning status codes 200 to 309 is considered successful. Requests with error codes like 500 or timeouts are failures. Now let's calculate your error budget. With your target of 99.5%, you had an error budget of 0.5% for the month. 0.5% of 2.6 million seconds equals 13,000 seconds, or approximately 3.6 hours. Your actual performance was 99.7%, which means you only burned 0.3% of your budget. 0.3% of 2.6 million seconds equals 7,800 seconds, or approximately 2.2 hours. This leaves you with 1.4 hours of remaining error budget for the rest of the month, meaning you can still afford 1.4 hours of downtime and maintain your SLO. To maintain your SLOs, you need effective monitoring and alerting strategies. First, instrument your service to capture SLIs. Collect metrics like response times, success and failure counts, and request volumes at your service boundaries. Create an SLO dashboard to visualize your SLI performance against your targets in real time. This dashboard should show your current compliance percentage, whether you're meeting your SLO, and how much error budget you have remaining. Track your error budget consumption over time. Calculate your burn rate, which shows how quickly you're consuming your budget. A normal burn rate is 1, meaning you're consuming budget at the expected pace. A burn rate of 5 means you're consuming budget 5 times faster than expected. Set up multi-window alerting. Alert on both short windows like 5 minutes to catch fast failures and long windows like 1 hour to catch slow degradation. Use budget-based alerts that trigger at 75%, 90%, and 100% budget consumption. Finally, set burn rate alerts that trigger when your error budget is burning faster than expected, for example, at 5 times the normal rate. These monitoring and alerting systems give you early warning when you're at risk of violating your SLO. It's important to understand the difference between SLAs and SLOs, as they're often confused. An SLA is a service level agreement. It's a formal, legally binding contract between you as a service provider and your customers. An SLA specifies what you promise to deliver and what happens if you fail to meet those promises. Failure to meet an SLA can result in financial penalties, service credits, or even contract termination. SLAs are external-facing documents involving your legal, sales, and support teams. You set SLA targets conservatively, below your actual capability, to avoid the serious consequences of breaches. In contrast, an SLO is a service-level objective. It's an internal target for your engineering teams. SLOs guide engineering decisions and operational priorities. They're not legally binding, so they're more flexible and can be adjusted as your service evolves. You set SLOs more ambitiously to drive continuous improvement. The key relationship is this: your SLOs should be stricter than your SLAs. If your SLO is 99.9% and your SLA is 99.5%, you have a buffer. This buffer allows your team to catch and fix problems internally before they affect your customers and violate your contractual obligations. This approach lets you be proactive, rather than reactive, improving customer satisfaction while meeting your legal commitments.
If you like this video, hit that like button and don't forget to subscribe. Visit codelucky.com for more such useful content.